I had a problem with is when he started talking about the money issue. You feel what I'm saying? But scratch all that. You know what I'm saying? I just want to let everybody know what happens when it comes down to the no jumper situation. Today, Adam went on there and basically said, we don't make 75% of what we've made at no jumper right now. He knows for a fact all of this stuff that he said. There's a lot of stuff. So today I just said, I want to cook today.
Oh, Lord.
I just want to cook today. I want to show you, man, what I'm talking about.
Are you showing your invoices?
I'm just gonna show you something. I want the people to see this. Let's break this down. This is what I was paid, and I was one of the top paid people over there. This is what I was paid at No Jumper.
Well, hold on.
Every 2 weeks. You feel me? Every other week. Just so we can get stuff into a context. I want everybody to, you know what I'm saying, to look at that.
Oh, this is what you're looking at.
You cooking.
I just want to let people know.
Every 2 weeks?
This is what I was getting paid every 2 weeks. You feel me?
Right.
Just so everybody can see.
Hey, I was getting paid more than you. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey.
No, I'm just kidding.
And listen,
I did getting paid good though.
On top of that, and this is before taxes, on top of that, at the end of the month, I would give them an invoice. That'd go from $1,500 to maybe on a good month, which was rarely
like 5 bands.
No, $3,000. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, me at being one of the top guys, all I got at the end of the month was maybe $6,000 on a good month. No bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? If you think that is more than what the fuck we doing now, you are out your goddamn mind, my nigga. 100%. You feel me? And on top of that, you said something about bad management and shit like that too. Pun only came in the picture to make sure that we wasn't getting taken advantage of off of account of me.
Leave me out of this shit.
I'm just keeping it real. I gotta say my
I'll
piece
slap
when
the
it
shit
comes
out,
down.
nigga. Leave me out of this shit.
Hey, I'm gonna say what I gotta say, Pun. I'm gonna say
Leave
what I
me out
gotta
of
say.
it.
Now, my worst month on community is still more than what I ever got paid at No Jumper, and that's 100% facts. That's with no sponsors. That's with nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's just strictly what it is. And the only time that we probably took a dip in any type of views is when I went to DR for 2 weeks, and that shit went right back up. Now, like I was saying before, Pun don't want me to say his name, I'm gonna say Pun's name. Pun tried to be cool. He tried to be fair. He made sure that, you know what I'm saying, we was doing business correctly. The only extra thing that we got when it came down to No Jumper was the food show, which I was told that wasn't gonna work to begin with. Damn. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get paid for the food show for a minute. Me and Pun decided and told them, they said that they didn't know what they could pay us because they didn't know what it was gonna do. You feel me? Pun told them, we're gonna give you guys 4 episodes. After that, we can discuss and give us an offer to what it is that we can get paid. You know what I'm saying? So the whole time to act like it was just crazy money and it was this and doing that, like, that's 100% cap. We're not even tripping when it comes down to that. So I just want to let everybody know and see whatever the situation is. You feel what I'm saying? And on terms of everything else, you gave me a challenge. You said, let's get views without discussing your name. I got a challenge for you. Let's see you get 1 million views without exploiting street culture or beef. We could both give each other challenges. You feel what I'm saying?
We do that Snoopy Badass interview. He had some choice comments about AD. And then AD, of course, because I talked about him for like 30 seconds on the Snoopy Badass episode, he has to do a whole stream where he's talking about me throughout the whole thing, blah, blah, blah. He's playing GTA. He's role-playing as me. It's like, I don't know. I mean, the general impression I got from the comments and stuff.
AD in the
nothing.
In the interview.
Yeah, thank you, Brick Baby, who was actually there. I said like nothing about him, but he was, I guess, upset because he doesn't like the idea of me interviewing somebody and asking them about something that they said about him. So then after this long ass stream, the next day I happened to do Bootleg Kev. He asked me, why is AD talking about you and making every stream about you, etc. And I basically said that I think he was pissed off because, you know, I asked Snoopy Badass about him and he wants this special treatment. He doesn't want like me to ask somebody who had previously dissed him about him. And he was mad about that. That's what I said. Now, the other thing that apparently really got under his skin is Bootleg Kev said, well, those guys who left No Jumper, they're probably making more money now than they were on No Jumper, right?
Yeah.
And
That's what Bootleg Kev said.
I said no. I said that is certainly not the case. And it doesn't take a genius. You could go look at the Figmunity analytics, go to their Social Blade, look how many views they get per month, and tell me if you think that the amount of money that they're making from that one podcast that they do a week split into like 4 or 5 pieces, if you think that that's more than the full-time. AD, in his own words, frequently would say that he was making 6 figures a year from No Jumper. Yeah. So you look at how many views that channel is getting and then split it 5 ways and then tell me that that they're each making 6 figures a year off of that. It's actually insane that they're actually trying to pass this off on the people.
Is that like 80, like what is 6 figures considered? Is that
it would be like eight grand a month basically, or like a little bit more, you know, which is, you know, AD actually showed, I could tell that I really triggered him because he was showing his No Jumper pay stubs after taxes, keep in mind, on his stream last night. And if you look at those and you listen to what he said about how he was actually getting another check in addition to what he was showing, it basically all adds up to something close to what he was saying, which was like 6 figures a year, right? And so I don't know why he showed the receipts on camera, because based on what I've read in the comments and on the Reddit, it seems like the fans almost universally agree that he was being overpaid, which was our experience as well, is that we definitely weren't making as much money from the content as we were paying him. It was just kind of something that we were still doing because of the fact that he had been a brand for that long. So then you look at their channel now, you would have to be absolutely out of your mind to think that those dudes are making more money from that channel than they were making, than AD was making at No Jumper.
Including ad revenue and the side shit that they do and what they charge people to come on their platform, or if
do they charge people to go on there? I don't know. They might be making more money than you think from advertising or whatever, but I don't believe for a second. I think it's absolutely absurd that he's actually trying to pass this off on people.
But not that one podcast, but I'm just saying he's probably saying like as a whole. With but he was doing shit on the side.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing, is that the money that he was making from Community, his channel, he was already making that while he was doing No Jumper. So you can't count that.
So what's the beef though? I'm trying to figure it out. Like,
I know it's hard to understand how they're being this sensitive.
Go ahead.
But, I mean, I guess the beef is just that, well, number one, they just need stuff to talk about. So that's why we're in the thumbnail. That's why they got to talk about us over and over and over, is just because they got nothing else to talk about. What I said on Bootleg Kev was pretty obviously true. Almost impossible to argue. And AD actually went on his stream and basically like proved exactly what I was saying by showing the pay stubs and acknowledging.
Well, he didn't show how much they're making. That's what I was.
He showed how much he was making from No Jumper.
No,
what he didn't show the people, what would actually prove it, what I was saying, which he will never do, is
right now.
No, not Community, Figmunity. So show us what Figmunity makes you right now, and then we'll be able to actually contrast and compare and see if you are actually making like $8,000 a month off of Figmunity, which, spoiler, is not happening. It's like obviously just not true.
I feel like with this, like this be the problem with us. It causes a beef when it's just really friendly competition. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like it should be like a competition thing. You know, like, okay, you think you make more, I make more. How can we prove this?
But this is the problem is
for views,
I went on there on Bootleg Kev and I answered his questions honestly, and I had
you did a Bootleg Kev interview also?
Yes, and I love that you don't know that, because you like Shitty is really in the streets. He's really doing his thing. He's not tapped into the minutia of the Reddit or whatever. So that's what I'm here. I'm to fill you guys in on this.
Reddit just today.
Just leave it out of your life. You don't want to be part of it. You're better off without it. Anyway, so I go on there and I said some simple statements of fact. I wasn't disrespectful. I just said that I didn't believe that they were making as much money, which is a obvious fact. Yeah. And then I also laid out the situation with Snoopy Badass. What do I get as a result? I get AD and his overweight manager sitting in this tiny little room talking about how they gonna stand on business, how they gonna fuck me up, how I need to be careful out here in these streets.
I didn't see that part.
Before I went on stream, let me go to my Instagram story right now, because I preemptively knew that this was going to happen. Listen to my story from yesterday.
Style of podcaster are people who can hear a valid argument, can hear a valid conversation, and then they go on the podcast and they want to convince you that they're hard and they could beat somebody up.
Does this sound familiar?
I think I speak on behalf of basically the entire audience.
The whole world. The whole world, Adam.
When I say that we don't care.
We don't care.
You gotta actually do it.
You gotta do it. You gotta slide.
A defunct style of podcasting.
That'll be working out too much.
Slide,
You know, he a biker. He got that
Podcast is
energy.
not the place to do it. So
If you want to act tough, the podcast is not the place to do it. So I called my shot. I'm motherfucking Babe Ruth in this bitch. I go on my story. I call out exactly what their response is going to be. And what do? They do this musty ass, broke ass shit. And they sit around and talk about, ooh, Adam gonna get touched. LOL. How the fuck did I call it? And I mean it too, because when you look at the Reddit, when you look at the comments, nobody is impressed. You're never going to take a W by hopping on a podcast, talking about a verbal beef, a beef of ideas, a war of ideas. You're never going to take the W by going on your podcast and talking about how tough you are. It makes you sound goofy. Do you really think that I'm scared of Pun waiting outside of the building? You know exactly where we work. What are we talking about? If you wanted to do something, you're not going to talk about it on the podcast. You probably already would have done it. I'm not worried about it. I'm just saying.
So this isn't necessarily a pod war. If you ask me, this is like a side pod war. This is like a TV show of the pod wars. You know, you got the mainline series movies that are the pod wars. And then you got a little TV show where niggas are beefing with their own co-hosts. You know, sometimes it's Joe and Flip beefing with each other. They've had their tit for tat back and forth. We know the history of that. And now for some reason, ADAM22 and AD are really going at it. Now they've been teasing it. AD is been saying he doesn't want to bring man's name up and not really talk about it or discuss him, but ADAM22 has been throwing slick shots on podcasts he's been doing with other people, so it kind of did force AD's hand to finally speak on the subject of ADAM22. Now, was he talking about his cucking? No. Did it have anything to do with the fact that Adam is a neo-Nazi sometimes and has some predatory allegations? No. It had everything to do about the paycheck that he was getting from No Jumper at the time, and Adam found that very disrespectful. He got on his podcast and let him know, hey, I was paying y'all way more than y'all are making now. The content that you guys are doing is dried up. It's nothing of substance. You're really not pushing the needle. You're just finding ways to talk about me to get your clout up, chase the COE, chase the content over everything. Do I agree with him on his opinions of big community? Now, at the end of the day, I do think AD is a nice personality. He seems pretty cool. He seems pretty chill, but when it does come to the content space, I don't know what he does bring to the table. Now, I don't know what ADAM22 brings to the table. If anything, he's just the horn Vlad. Now, he's not indicting niggas or getting them set up to be indicted, but at the same time, he just talks to hood niggas, talks to the street rappers, does the porno thing. So yeah, it gives me shades of Warren Vlad. Now, ADAM22 has already built a fan base. He's built what he's built, so of course he can eat off of that however he needs to eat off of it. But should he be coming for the co-host that he fired for trying to eat off of their names and building something up for themselves? No, at the end of the day, because they got the nepotism that they started with from coming from your show. Now they just have to build off of that. So if they find a way to build off of that, good for them. If they don't and it crumbles when they hit a peak, then that is what it is. Now, at the end of the day, Adam, like academics, like Vlad, like people of the Shade Room and Neighborhood Talk, they have created another stream of revenue when it comes to Instagram. So if YouTube does ever fucking collapse or poof out, it's gone, I'll miss you guys. But at the same time, these guys have their Instagram social medias to fall back off of. So Adam is set up, and that is my main argument as to why I feel like he shouldn't really be pimping his wife and cucking. Like at the end of the day, Adam, you're good, bro. You're gonna always find a way, as long as the internet is working, to revenue and create a stream of money for yourself and find a way to get the clout off of it. However, look, you've set an amazing foundation. What's the point in pimping your girl's pussy off for more money and more clout? go. You're going as far and as high as you need to go. I get it. Now if TMZ's interviewing you, everybody wants to talk to you and get in the head of the cuck. But at the same time, all publicity isn't good publicity, but even bad publicity is good publicity because it's publicity. So it is what it is. What do you guys think about Adam telling AD and Pun to go ahead and slide, basically telling them, hey, I'm ready when y'all are to go to war. Yes, I was actually talking about a war. If that's what y'all want to do, I'm here. I'm ADAM22. Let's get it. I don't give a fuck. I'll crash out. Let's go. And hey, all power to him. I'm just here to watch. Hopefully nobody gets actually hurt and we can come to an agreement. And this is just all WWE rap content entertainment. And we could just take it as that. COE, content over everything. And we're taking the entertainment and nobody gets hurt. Hopefully. But anyways, those are my thoughts. What are yours? I am Savvy Mike. And this is I Am Savvy Mike TV. Peace.